It's not an easy world. We are bred to make money. People don't know what they love to do. They might never pursue or try to find that, even take the risk to do that. So a lot of people have that financial stability to pursue after their dreams. Leaving corporate is not an easy thing to do. Once I got off my leave of absence, immediately they emailed me with a project. Want you to get on this project and you have to be in the Bay Area. And I was like, no. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another show of this podcast. Today, I have the beautiful Tiffany Lau with me, and she has quite an interesting story and a very inspiring one of how she decided to quit her IT consulting career to pursue traditional Chinese medicine. So, Tiffany, thank you so much for being on the show with me. Laugh. It's all good. We are having a laughter moment. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so honored that you invited me into your space.
You're very welcome.
Peaceful, calming space. I love your apartment. I hope that my story and my journey can inspire others.
Yeah, and to talk a little more about that, my intention for this podcast is to meet everyday people making some bold decisions in life to pursue what's in their heart. And it's not easy. Meeting people like you is inspiring me. I needed friends, people, women, men.
For sure.
In my circle, right? To understand what this journey actually looks like.
Yeah. And you've been so blessed to have met so many women in this space specifically, because I feel like it's not every day that you meet women who will go out and kind of explore and pursue their journey or pursue their passion and what they want to do. And so, actually, I'm like, wow, I kind of just know, you probably know way more people than I do who have pursued their passion.
Not really. After I quit my job, I just have a little more bandwidth to process all the clutter that's been going on, right? And so I have a little more space to go out and meet people and pursue inspiration. I'm not even pursuing it, and it's just coming in the form of beautiful women like you who are pursuing their heart. So, and I think that's what this podcast is about. Everybody goes through struggles, right? Everybody does. But, how relatable is it to you in your circle? I think after COVID and in the time of rapid digitalization, it's just that people are forgetting the physical component.
Right.
The necessary interaction of a person's nervous system with a person next to them.
I feel like we've been able to manage that transition, but children and younger kids who were born during COVID or who had to go to school during COVID and who are born in such a digital age, their interaction is most comfortable through an iPad or through a screen.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate because I feel like the energetics of being around, being able to touch people and look people in the eye and look at the detail of someone's face or outfit. It's such a different experience, and it's something that you can't obviously experience through animation or through Zoom. Yeah.
Because you can't touch animation, right?
Yeah.
And that's also the part about inspiration that's important to me, because you guys are tangible to me. It's not like I'm watching you on a screen. You are present here in your being, doing what you're doing. And that's kind of inspiring me on my journey, because I've just only started when you guys are a few steps ahead. Because I'm like, okay, Tiffany is a tangible being that, I see, I meet. She did this. And she's in front of me. So then it doesn't feel so far, out of my reach. It doesn't seem out of my reach.
It's never out of your reach.
In a way, what we are doing, we never expected that we would.
Never thought I would be here.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Isn't it? So,
Life is crazy.
I want to focus on your journey today. And why don't you start by saying what is it that you do and what brings you most joy about it from your transition to IT, from IT consulting to traditional Chinese medicine?
So I am a traditional Chinese medicine practitioner. So that is inclusive of acupuncture, cupping, herbal medicine. We also do tuina, which is like people don't want to say it's like a massage, but is a type
Mm-hmm.
of massage that follows along the meridian channels
Oh,
that
that's
we work
cool. I've
on.
never heard of that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's awesome. And just like very different techniques for like compared to like a deep tissue or like a Swedish or lymphatic massage.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I pretty much have practiced all these things. I was in school for 4 years to study this medicine, and it's a pretty intensive program because we not only have to learn Chinese medicine, but we also have to learn Western medicine as well,
Wow.
especially because we live in a Western society and Western medicine is the priority of, insurance and things like that. So,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how people also can understand when we do explain the diagnosis
Mm-hmm.
and when they explain their diagnosis to us,
Mm-hmm.
we're speaking the same language.
Hmm.
But at least with Chinese medicine, I will give them a different perspective of how we view their same diagnosis.
Mm-hmm.
But I mainly focus on women's health, fertility. I deal a lot of with women who are in their perimenopause or
Mm-hmm.
menopause phase, which
Mm-hmm.
is, oh my gosh, just such a crazy, like meeting so many older women
Yeah.
who are now in their huge transition of life.
Mm-hmm.
Hormones are fluctuating. It is worse than getting a period every month. It
Mm.
is worse than being pregnant.
Yeah.
When these women come in, they're like
Mm-hmm.
desperate. They're dying desperate for help because Western medicine, there's not many solutions for their problems. And a lot of that is like band-aid solutions.
Mm-hmm.
What else? I mean, chronic illnesses, chronic internal medicine, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously pain, but I feel like a lot of people don't see an acupuncturist or see a Chinese medicine specialist for their internal problems.
Mm-hmm.
But we treat inside out,
Mm-hmm.
and pain is usually outside. People see it as outside in,
Mm-hmm.
but when we look at pain, there's an internal problem, and
Mm-hmm.
it could be related to something with your different organs, different
Mm-hmm.
channels and meridians
Mm-hmm.
that people don't recognize. And they think, like, oh, my back is just hurting and I can't live with this. But I'm
Yeah.
like, let's look at you holistically
Mm-hmm.
because there's other things going on.
Mm-hmm.
So, what I love about Chinese medicine, and I mean, just like alternative,
Mm-hmm.
integrative medicine in general, is we don't compartmentalize things. Like we look at the problem as an entire whole of your body because
Mm-hmm.
you are one unit.
Yeah.
Everyone's one unit, but
Mm-hmm.
everybody is unique. We all
Yeah.
have a different DNA sequence.
Mm-hmm.
We're not identical.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're telling me you have diabetes,
Mm-hmm.
there's diabetes 1 and 2, right? But
Mm-hmm.
in Chinese medicine, it's not just broken down to 1 and 2. It's broken down to a few different things just based off of the other symptoms that you're telling me about.
Mm-hmm.
And we can connect everything and kind of not package it together because we're always, um, even in Western medicine, like it's an experiment.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's body is different.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have to treat based on your body, your conditions. It's not just here's a formula I think is great or here are some points that I think are great, but like let's dive deeper and figure out which avenue we should take for you specifically. So I think it's just so tailored and such a customized medicine
Mm-hmm.
that it's not viewed in that way. And a lot of people don't understand that because in Western
Yeah.
medicine, it's like, here are the three options of the same type of drug.
Yeah.
We'll try one first. If that doesn't work, we'll give you the second one, or
Mm-hmm.
we'll up your dosage.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not how we do it in Chinese medicine. So
Yeah.
we're always trying to figure out what is the best solution for our patients.
Yeah. And that's the word, like it's holistic, right? It's a holistic wellness and it's your whole body. Because I have had such a bad relationship with medication in general that I try to stay away from it. And of course, like modern medicine has its place.
For sure.
If somebody's dying, like you can't really do holistic care at that point of time. Exactly. Because, you have to treat the survival.
Right. We need to keep you alive in order to be able to work on you continuously. Yeah. 100%. I'm never against Western medicine. Like I will never tell anyone to stop taking their medication. But people will know when it's hurting their body, what is working and what is not, and the symptoms that they're reacting to that medication and the desperate, the disparity of how they want to roll off of those medications and how we can kind of find the transition for them.
Yeah. Because like I, for one, have experienced severe depression. I've experienced suicidal thoughts. I've experienced very severe migraine as a side effect of taking pills. And, I had dental surgery and I was prescribed like hydrocodone and I was just like throwing up. So, then
everyone's body's so sensitive.
Yeah, like my body is just the kind of body that will react. It makes itself heard.
Right.
And in very dramatic ways. That's just the kind of body I have, and I have to honor it for what it is. For other people, they can take it. But I just happen to have a very, very hit me with side effects kind of body. So yeah, I really, really believe in holistic wellness because it's prevention after all. It is.
Yeah. We shouldn't be waiting last minute to treat a problem that we're experiencing. Your body tells you in the beginning straight up like, hey, these are the signs, but a lot of people don't follow that because especially in America, we have access to such bad food and excess of things
and distraction for your body.
Distractions and things that will make life more convenient, more easy. Like when I'm walking through Costco and literally everything is packaged, I get really discouraged because no matter what, when I read the back of this package, there's going to be an ingredient in there that they're trying to expedite the process or to make things have a longer shelf life. Or, to thicken a consistency or like a lot of substitutions. But thankfully there's like apps to easily scan a barcode now and to tell you if it's good or bad. But at the end of the day, they're still even using ingredients that, one of my patients was telling me how Chips Ahoy cookies nowadays are so much more bad for you and so much more poison in the contents and the ingredients than it was in the 90s. Because in the 90s, there was nothing that was as processed, right? These machines weren't built like they are today to rapidly produce a product. And that's why you see so many added vitamins in the back of an ingredient because they're trying to substitute for the natural flour that you're supposed to actually use to make a cookie. So it's like in the 90s, the Chips Ahoy was totally fine to eat, like a whole box or whatever someone desired. Probably not the best, but still, if you eat a box today, it's like poison.
Interesting to know. I try to avoid anything that I don't understand. I don't know what that is. Commonly chips will have an additive to make you crave it more.
Oh, for sure.
And I succumb to the crave.
I mean, several times. So hard.
So I try to keep chips out of the pantry here. But yeah, that's the food industry is something today.
Let's not even talk about the soil nowadays. Anyways, we're not here to talk about that.
But we completely derailed.
But that is holistic medicine in a jiffy of, your diet, your lifestyle, your exercise. Chinese medicine is a lifestyle. It really is. Because once you start to begin to learn and understand your body, what it needs, what it reacts to, what you're
Mm-hmm.
sensitive to.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to know what to caution, and you're going to know how to deliberately step away from putting yourself in a position where your body is going to suffer and you're going to feel like you're suffering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it kind of tells you something about when you look at the older population who's more traditional, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like in Asian countries, like because I just got back from Japan in March, and it was um quite notable that I did not see anybody who's obese.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, like the
I
question
mean,
is
in Europe
why?
too.
Yeah. Yeah, you would ask these questions like
Yeah.
why? Why? What are they doing differently, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot of tradition and there's a lot of food science in the ancient culture that is still being followed, and that's why they're healthier. And that's not my topic of expertise, but it's definitely an observation worth noting.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So tell us, Tiffany, how did you get into traditional Chinese medicine from being an IT consultant, from like traveling everywhere to being on the go, being that
Yeah.
girl, getting things done, and, being the boss? How did you get to traditional
Oh my
Chinese
gosh.
medicine?
Yeah. Um, so yeah, I was in tech consulting, and when I was younger, I really just desired the life of travel.
Mm-hmm.
I just always wanted to be on the go. I wanted to explore new places.
Mm-hmm.
I just never wanted to sit down, and I was never the type of person who could just stay at a job
Mm-hmm.
and feel happy about it.
Yeah.
And I remember in my 20s, it was a huge struggle for me. I went through a quarter life crisis, literally, where I was working remote.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went to this tech consulting job because I'm like, ooh, now I'm like doing things, and like
Yeah.
seeing new places. But
Mm-hmm.
I was traveling every single day to the East Coast, back and forth from San Francisco to Detroit for a year.
Mm-hmm.
And in your 20s, you're resilient,
Yeah,
right?
and you
And
have like the
you
energy to
have the
make
energy
that
to do
happen. Yeah.
this. Yeah. But, slowly but surely it started really deteriorating my body. And I
Mm-hmm.
had no idea that that was the cause.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, putting yourself through a 5 hour, I guess 10 hours of flying total time, right?
With those kind of seats.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like sitting upright. I'm like having to wake up at 5 a.m. to
Mm-hmm.
make my 7 a.m. flight. And, then there's a 3 hour time change that you're dealing with, and you
Yeah.
only have 4 days for your body to adjust to that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you can spend a day to adjust because I'm the next day, like, you have to go into the office and
Mm-hmm.
work. And then just being in a state where, or even in a location where, in a hotel room where I couldn't cook my own food,
Yeah.
eating out
Mm-hmm.
constantly. And I'm in like a small little town in Detroit. I'm not like in the city, or
Mm-hmm.
like, even if I could go to the city, I wish I could, but I didn't have any time to do that.
Yeah.
So just like the access to foods, my diet, my lifestyle, um, and I just like vividly remember that I was just constantly tired.
Mm-hmm.
And then one thing that actually made me really sad was I just felt like I was uprooted. I didn't have, my team was amazing,
Mm-hmm.
but when you're traveling so frequently,
Mm-hmm.
you feel so disconnected with your friends at home because everyone, people back home are doing happy hours, they're doing dinners during the week.
Yeah.
Um, and you're missing out on those things
Yeah.
because you're traveling.
Yeah.
And granted, I had such an amazing team. We had such
Mm-hmm.
a great bond,
Mm-hmm.
best team ever. Um, but at the same time, it's like you feel so uprooted because you're living out of a suitcase, and,
Yeah.
and once
Yeah.
you unpack for one day, then do laundry, it's like go, go, go,
Yeah.
super exhausting. So I did that for about 5 years.
Wow.
I know. Oh my gosh. And during the last year, I had started developing, I have really bad skin issues
Mm-hmm.
growing up. Acne was like a huge thing that I was always battling. And so I'd always had that. I had a lot of gut issues. My stomach was never really strong. You know, I would TMI, but have to like run to the bathroom if I ate certain types of foods. And then I started breaking out in eczema.
Oh.
And I had no idea why that was happening to me. And so I'd go to the doctor. They're like, oh, this is just, it is what it is, essentially. Like, there's no explanation. What are they going to say? You have eczema. There's no reason why. Like, this is just adult eczema. Here's some steroid cream. But you know, you can't use it really frequently because it thins out your skin and it's bad for you. But it's like, dude, I'm itchy. Like, like, what am I'm switching out at this point, I had already switched out all of my body soaps and shampoos to like no sulfates, no parabens.
Yeah.
Because it's really terrible for your acne.
Burns, right? Like,
when
you have eczema and you're putting soap over it and your skin's so dry and
like clothes. I would have to like make sure I'm wearing the right clothes because it was so sensitive. Just like everything, right? And I'm like, there is no way that I'm going to live like this for the rest of my life.
How long
and
did
I know
the skin condition last?
I think I had it for maybe a few months until one of my friends, she recommended me to go see her acupuncturist. She's like, why don't you just like try it? And I had done acupuncture like once before that for lower back pain, and it was like gone after one treatment.
Wow.
And I know. And then, but I hadn't really gone back after that because it's like, why? And I was traveling. So I gave it a shot. I was like, you know what? Like, I have no solution to this. Western medicine has no solution to my problems. They basically said, you're just going to have to live with this for the rest of your life. I was like, no, this is like, and I feel so terrible for people who do have eczema and have to live with that for the rest of their lives. And
because it's so much adjustment on top of it. It's just not your skin.
Yes.
Your skin is your largest organ in your body.
It's a large organ.
Constantly inflamed like that. There's just so much adjustment that you have to do around it. Yeah. It's exhausting.
Right. Because it's like, I want to go out and have a drink, or I want to go out and be able to eat certain foods and not have flare-ups. Like, there's no way. So anyways, I started doing acupuncture. I was traveling, so like my acupuncturist would come into my hotel room, and I know, and she would do acupuncture on me every single week. And she also prescribed herbs to me as well. So I would take herbs every single day. I had different formulas for different things. Again, I was desperate. I needed my skin, my eczema, my acne. My bowels were not consistent. I had IBS. And she's like, are you sure you're not stressed out? And I'm like, I'm sure. Like, it's stressful, but it's nothing that I can't handle, you know?
Yeah.
And she's like, okay. And she would never push that on me. But now, like, looking back, I was like, oh, dude, that's stress. Like, that's your body telling you that you're stressed out.
Yeah.
And I didn't recognize that mentally.
Because if you were doing this for 5 years, it seems like your body didn't even have time to reset.
No.
From the time zone, because you were flying.
It's just deteriorating day by day.
It's just, it doesn't have any time to recoup. And then you're hitting it with another jet lag, another jet lag, another jet lag, because you're like traveling constantly.
Yeah.
And kudos to people who do that. It takes a lot of energy and strength.
My husband's in that position right now.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, PTSD. And I just feel so bad for him. But like, I think everyone's body is different and everyone's body can handle more tolerance than others.
Yeah.
And now knowing like me, I have a very weak body. I have very weak chi is what we call it. Because I get so fatigued so easily. So I need to like do things that is right for me.
Yeah, and that you bring up an interesting point because everybody's body is different. Like
Mm-hmm.
not everybody is going to have that much energy, but somebody can totally have that much energy.
Yeah.
And it really depends. So
Really depends.
we can't just say just because this person is doing this, this person can also do this.
Like if he can do this, why can't you do this? And like compare. It's not like that.
Yeah.
No.
And I think that's kind of what we experience so much when you're working and you're compared to your peers. But I think what is not acknowledged is that people are entirely, totally, molecularly so different. Different at soul level, different at body composition. They're just entirely a different being. So holding these comparisons, sometimes, especially when it comes to your health, might not be very valid.
No, they're not valid at all. No,
not at a holistic perspective.
No.
But
anyways, yeah. And then after I did a consecutive like 3 months of treatment, and literally I was fixed.
Like all your eczema went away?
All my eczema was gone. I would only get it if I was stressed. I had some like flare-ups in terms of like food again. You know, for 3 months, I'm giving up so many things like dairy, sugar, bread, always craving. Oh, I had so much craving for sugar, like insane craving. That craving is gone. My skin, like my acne was so much better. My bowels were consistent. I could, go have sushi and not have to run to the restroom immediately, but just so much transformation in my body.
Yeah.
Cause I was 20 something.
Yeah.
At that point, like your body's supposed to be at its peak.
Yeah. Not like
bad. Not like I'm a 50-year-old woman who needs to take a Pepcid or Alka-Seltzer after every single meal.
Yeah.
No. So, but now I'm in my mid-30s and I feel wonderful.
Yeah.
I feel better than I ever have in the whole span of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, body awareness is so crucial, in all of these things. And some people are really getting into it and aware. And, especially like in Asian countries, even here too, like there are a lot of, healthy older people, again, who are so inspiring to me. And I'm like, I want to be there where you guys are. So I'm working my way there, but there's much more to discover every day.
Yeah.
So how did you decide to leave? I know like your experience with acupuncture was like you got healed.
Yes.
You're like, wow, this worked. And like, I feel exuberant.
Right.
So when did you decide that you're going to leave IT consulting? Because that's kind of what you wanted to do as a little girl. You wanted to travel and you're being hit with, hey, I probably like community a little more. Like I like friends a little more than travel, right? That seems like to have started hitting you.
Right.
Along with this eczema. So when did you decide to make the shift?
So it took me a long time to decide. I feel like leaving corporate is not an easy thing to do.
No, it is not.
That paycheck is nice every single 2 weeks.
Yes.
And so I think for me, I had always had the desire to understand health on a more natural level. And then I always had the desire to want to help people. And I just felt like deep down inside of me that this was a calling that I'm Christian. So it was a calling that I felt like God always put on my heart. And I never knew how to navigate that. Like, I would go on a mission trip and feel good. And like, that's about it.
Yeah.
And I was like, but I don't see myself as being a missionary for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Like kudos to people who do.
Yeah,
I think
and
there's a
everybody
calling
has their
for
different
everyone.
path,
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
So number one, first step was having to quit my job in consulting. I didn't quit immediately, obviously, because you're on a project to project basis.
Yeah.
Every single project is different.
Yeah.
Some projects are easier than others.
Yeah.
And that was like, in my case, where I had like projects that were easier and projects that were harder. And I was like, oh, maybe the next one I'll get an easier project.
Yeah.
And it was also too, in your 20s, you just want to learn so much.
Yeah.
And so consulting was a great opportunity for me to learn so many things. Mm-hmm. And so many companies and platforms and things like that. Mm-hmm. And it was just so hard to pull myself away from that. But at the same time, I was like, oh, but if I could only learn more about Chinese medicine to help treat myself even deeper.
So that was going on in the back of your mind.
Oh, of course. I'd always like look up all these things on Google, but there's really only so much that you can learn from a blog post or, you know, and so I got pulled away from my job. Essentially, I was dating this person and they actually had an opportunity to go to China for a job in Shanghai. And we were very serious. So I actually I was like debating like, okay, you've always wanted to live abroad, you know, but you're going to have to quit your job and what are you going to do there? And so maybe I can go to school there, you know, because Chinese medicine is from China, essentially. I can learn from the source. Eventually my pros list was longer than my cons list. And again, I just felt really called to like make the jump. Yeah. Like if this is the one chance in your life that you're going to get the opportunity to live abroad, do it. And I wasn't, you know, I was in my late 20s. So I moved to China and I still never quit my job yet. Yeah. I went on a leave of absence. Okay. You can do that for 3 months.
Wow, that's unpaid. A lot of debating.
Right. Yeah. Because I never knew I couldn't make that jump of like, you know, that I thought was going to be like my forever dream. So just kind of like learning how to decipher that. So I was in China for 3 months, living the life, taking a good break because I was like, oh, maybe I just need a break. 3 months is a great time for a break. And then once I got off my leave of absence, immediately they emailed me with a project. Oh. Like, I want you to get on this project. And you have to be in the Bay Area.
Wow. Okay.
And I was like, no.
So you were like the resistance.
Oh yeah.
The resistance you felt was like quite obvious. Oh at this time.
It was just like, you're either gonna 100% in or 100%. I thought I could ride the bench a little more, you know, because like once you come back, you're on the bench for a little bit. And I was like, I'm on the bench and I get paid full time and then I get laid off. My goal was to get laid off. You know, because then you can collect unemployment.
That is a great strategy.
I'm trying to take the advantage of the tax. The taxes that I paid for. So my goal was to get laid off, but they wanted me on this project immediately. Like, you have to be into the office. You have to be in the office next week.
Yeah, Tiffany's so good that they don't want to let her go, and they're just like putting her on the project.
Was I? No, you're in numbers, and they just needed a number.
Okay.
So, she's like, you have to decide by tomorrow.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Or else we're going, because I think my I forgot what they're called, but my HR person, she was like, you can't just reject this role. Okay. Like, you need to be put on the role.
Duty,
right. It is.
Roles and responsibility. Yeah. That's what you're getting paid for.
Exactly. Yeah. So I guess I could have just done a bad job on the project. Never showed up. But yeah. But at the end of the day, I spoke to my friend and I think she was like, you don't want to burn a bridge.
Yeah. And I think if you're thinking, I'm going to do a bad job so that they fire me, that's like, okay,
she's
no,
like,
you're checked out.
Yeah. She's like, don't burn the bridge. Yeah. If you really want to quit, if you really don't want to take this job, then just quit. And I said, fine. So I said, you know what? I'm going to quit. So let them know I'm leaving the company. Yeah. So that was it. Then I just continued to live my life in China, day by day, still kind of pondering and thinking, should I go to school here? Yeah. I think what my fear was, if I go to school, because the curriculum is just so different compared to the US.
Yeah.
And so I was afraid that if I had done school there,
Mm-hmm.
and had to, eventually I was going to move back and had to move back or transition back to school. Cause
Mm-hmm.
in China, it's 5 years and you only get your bachelor's degree.
Yeah.
But in the US, it's 4 years and you're getting your master's.
Okay.
I already have my bachelor's, you know? And so,
Mm-hmm.
but it was so cheap. And I was like, oh, but I get to learn from the source. And
Yeah.
then at the same time, I was like, I don't think this is right. I think I should just wait a little longer.
Yeah.
So I'm like really postponing every single step as long as I could.
Okay.
And then
time.
Yes.
Mm.
It just didn't feel right.
Yeah.
And I think obviously listening to your intuition and listening, and I obviously prayed about it.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to make sure I was doing the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so eventually, COVID hit.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to come back to the States. And, as everyone knows in COVID, I was like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Like, I don't have a job.
Yeah.
And literally, I just felt like, okay, this is the perfect opportunity. I have nowhere to run.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to go back to corporate.
Yeah.
And so I just started taking, because you need bio, chem, physics, all the basic sciences.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, oh, I'll just start taking that in at a CC, because we weren't also
taking baby steps.
Yes. But because we were also not sure of like its timeline as well. But as it kept getting extended, I was like, okay, I may as well just take these classes because they're online anyways.
It lasted way longer than any of us would have expected.
Exactly.
It's become a part of history.
Very
drastically. But
kind of cool that we got to live through that.
Dystopian. God. Yeah. But anyway, yeah.
So then finally, guys, I think this was a year and a half of trying to beat around the bush and figure out the best situation. I mean, you just got to do it.
Yeah.
So I did it. I applied to school. I was living with my parents. And I started going to school, which is like 20 minutes away from my parents' house. But it was online, so it was really chill. And so, it took me a year and a half to finally get to a place where I said, I'm going to commit to this new journey, this new career, this new opportunity in my life to just learn. And if I didn't like it, I could always go back to corporate. I would have to start over again, but at the same time, only live once. And I think the hardest part for me also transitioning into that is the people pleasing side of me.
Yeah.
Where I knew that my parents really desperately did not want me to quit my job.
Yeah.
At Accenture, and for them it was like a bragging point, bragging brownie, whatever, to their family and their friends that I was working at this consulting firm. But at the same time, I didn't want to be seen as a type of person. Oh yeah, I'm proud of that, but I didn't want to identify as somebody who has a great job and a job that pays you well.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I was more than I was like I'm more than that. And you should be proud of me regardless of whether I'm at Accenture or whether I'm choose to be in Chinese medicine. But it was just that people pleasing Asian side of me that was, I want to make my parents happy. And I know they worked their butts off to get to a place where they're successful and they provided for us. And for me to make more money than them, and be more successful than they were.
And that's what every parent wants, right?
Like, for sure. That's what I want for little you.
Little baby. The little baby.
My little baby. Yeah, like every parent wants that. Yeah.
And so what would you say, because you clearly took your time with making the decision, right? Who would you say was the biggest support, in pushing you towards listening to your heart?
Definitely not my parents, unfortunately. But they were never, I was also just going through a really tough time during that season. I was just so depressed. And they knew that, right? And I think hopefully all parents at the end of the day, at least my parents, I could tell, wanted me to be happy, right? So they weren't going to push against it. If I'm going to do what I'm going to do, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And I think it's just my personality in general. They didn't want me to move to China, but I did it. So I'm kind of rebellious. I'm really not I'm very rebellious. I'm a rebellious child.
And I think it leads to the growth of the parent too.
Yes,
because like your parents are also outgrowing their insecurity,
right?
Because their child is the way that they are. And we are in a stage where we are having little cute babies and, becoming parents. And I think it's important to recognize that however your kid might be, your kid is going to push your buttons in a way that's going to bring out all your insecurities. It's your job to go through it and grow through it.
Yeah, and let them grow through it.
Yeah, and then you grow as a family. So your journey led to the growth of your family, whatever it might have been. And it's important to recognize that because I think there have been a lot of stuff with my family too. And we have grown beautifully through hardships.
Yeah.
Whatever that might be. So
I know. You have a whole story too.
Yeah.
Someone needs to interview you. We can interview you.
Maybe. Yeah. We can switch.
That's
seats.
a whole new
seats someday.
Yeah.
But coming back,
I'm sorry.
Who
did I say? Okay.
Biggest support.
So, so blessed to just have such amazing friends in my life. That I've met through all around the world who have supported me through this journey. And I think it's easier for friends to agree with you, right? Because they're your friend. They're always going to be on your side and have your back.
Yes. Thank you, friend.
Yes. But I'm also really grateful that I had friends that were very honest with me because you need that honesty. I can tell you that you're making a great decision, and when in the back of my mind, I know that you're not, but I think a true friend would tell the truth.
Yeah.
And would be straight up. But I had amazing friends who really just would even just pump me up and just say, and just tell me, continuously remind me that my life is my life to live.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't be living my life for anybody else. And if this is something that I know that I feel called to do, then I should pursue after those things. And it's not like I took a year and a half, right? And I'm not year and a half dilly-dallying around, fooling around and playing. I'm really trying to discern whether this was the right decision.
Yeah, and making that soulful decision takes a lot of time and uncovering a lot of stuff about yourself.
Oh yeah. A whole identity. I think I just went through a whole identity crisis and finding my identity, my worth.
Yeah.
And I think I just felt like if this is my identity and this is what my purpose is, then why am I not living that out? Why am I not living out the person that I was created to be? If I'm not doing that and rebelling against that, I'm not honoring myself. And I'm not stepping into a role that I will actually be successful in versus a pseudo success,
Yeah. Because that's fulfillment.
It is fulfillment.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Kudos to your friends who are always
I know.
there.
I love them. I love you guys so much.
And I think the world undermines the importance of friendship because we kind of always look at romantic love. Love is love at the end of the day, whether it's for a baby, it's for a friend. Love is love. And that support that comes from somebody who loves you is immense. So thank you, Tiffany's friend, for helping her through her identity crisis. And thank you to all my friends, Tiffany included, to help me through my identity crisis, which I am in right now. So once you decided to quit your job, you were in that 1.5 year phase where you didn't know who you were, what are you going to do, and things like that. I want you to reflect how you were interacting with people and society and showing up for people before that point, right?
Before making the decision.
Yes. And when you went through this identity crisis and you had to go so deep to acknowledge what you wanted, right? Like who you wanted to be, to live out your purpose, as you said, right? How did your interaction with people change after that?
Okay. So how did I treat people before? And then how did I treat people after?
Yeah, and keeping yourself in mind, because the shift that happened with your identity crisis is first you were ignoring yourself, right? Like in a way you were not listening to yourself, and you were kind of showing up in a way is what might have been expected of you, or what might seem comfortable for you, right? It's something that's known to people. Like you were showing up as something that was comfortable for people. How did that shift?
Yeah, that's so funny because I didn't realize maybe it was from that perspective versus getting older and kind of feeling more established in my life. So yeah, that's a really interesting perspective. Yeah, so I think before, and maybe it is an age thing too, right? Because I think that plays a huge factor.
Yeah, and that's kind of what mature.
I was just so desperate for relationship with other people. I obviously love relationship now with other people, but I think back in the day when I was younger, because there was such a void in my heart of trying to understand who I am, finding my identity, finding my worth, you seek to others to kind of help piece that together for you. You know what I mean? Because I think meeting new people in that stage of your life, you're always learning about them.
Yeah.
And I think for me, it was like, oh, maybe I'm picking up pieces of them and kind of putting those pieces on me. And they are kind of forming my identity.
Okay, that's very interesting. I've never thought about that perspective, but it completely makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when you have a void that you need to fill, which for me, it was my whole who am I question, you're always surrounding yourself with people or things or groups, whatever it may be, hobbies, whatever that may be, or like work, right? People identify with their work. You fill yourself with those things. And I think I was looking to fill myself with people who were very supportive, obviously, who had such a loving and caring heart, people who were very generous, and people who were also very wise. And I really respected people who were those things because I wanted to be those things. And so when I'm like when you're kind of like intentionally seeking out for those things, you gravitate yourself towards people who can offer you those things, offer you that and that friendship, right? And so I feel like friendship obviously is not a transaction, but there is an exchange, right?
Of course.
An energy of exchange and whatever, but I'm exchanging something that maybe they needed, or maybe I felt like they needed in return for what I needed from them. So I think I was just I was really open-minded with who I would talk to, who I would become friends with. I had a church community, and I think in a church community, it's easy to meet people constantly. And so I was constantly meeting people up, getting to know people, grabbing coffee, grabbing meals and things like that. And felt like I needed to have like a large group of people to kind of surround me to keep me grounded. You know what I mean? Because I wanted to be rooted I was trying to find myself, so I wanted to be rooted in something.
Yeah. How did that change after you found your identity, your purpose?
So now, I mean, with COVID, right, too, we're isolated. We didn't have that opportunity to go out freely and make friends, but I think during the time of COVID, it was me retracting back to home and who my home friends were. And I was the type of person who wanted to be in a million places at once and meet a million people and friends at once. I just had that desire for relationship and community. And then once COVID hit, you start realizing and recognizing who your real friends are. And this is something that everyone talks about.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that happened. And now I have just a smaller group of friends. But I think that also comes in with time and age too.
Yeah.
Like we don't have the time and we don't have the capacity to just go around and meet everybody in the world.
Yeah. And you're also looking for alignment in friendship, right? Like you want something, as you said, it's an exchange of energy.
Right. And so now my alignment with people is now I'm so in tune with wellness and the desire for wellness that I want to surround myself more with around people who have that same mindset, who desire wellness for themselves. I used to party a lot and my friends would be my party friends.
Yeah.
And I'm still super, super close with all my friends who I'd partied with. But I'm also grateful that now we're all transitioning into a time and a period of our lives where we're recognizing that we need to we're taking care of our body.
Yeah.
And I'm like, finally, because I was always seen as grandma of the group. Who I was always seen as a grandma of the group I was just always tired. I couldn't I couldn't hold down my liquor as much.
Yeah.
And so now they're kind of at my level.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, thank God. Finally. Now you understand.
Yeah.
No, but now even meeting you and and Jen and everyone, and everybody, it's amazing that as an adult we can still continue to make friends. Because that's so hard as well to find people that we jive with.
Yeah.
Now that I get to see so many people every single day in the clinic.
Yeah.
I feel like they're my friends too, because people love sharing and talking about themselves.
Yeah. And I think that's a part that that doesn't happen in corporate as much.
Yes.
On the clock.
Right.
Right. And here, I think a part of holistic wellness is also to get to know people
100%.
personally, because their stresses and their life is also adding to the care and prevention that you have to provide. And that kind of allows for connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was going to mention a huge part of Chinese medicine is once the door closes to the room, you're essentially their therapist. They're number one being vulnerable with you, right? They feel comfortable in that position to share all their health issues. That's a huge vulnerability. And then once they share their health issues with you, they kind of go into the backstory of why they have these health issues. And usually it's a trauma or something that had happened in their lives that kind of has a domino effect. And so they're literally spilling out a lot of their things, their dirty laundry on me. And a lot of the times, I'm not going to reject that. I accept it because that is a form of communication or connection for me to get to know somebody on a deeper level. I really don't like surface conversations. I like to get down to the nitty gritty and really understand who you are as a person. And so, I know it can be taxing for a lot of people to be like that wall that absorbs that type of energy, but I don't know. I think for me, I kind of thrive off of it because I'm like, oh, wow, they trust me enough to share their deep, dark problems and secrets. And I don't know. I just it's just being able to get invited into someone's heart.
Yeah. Seems like you found your niche, right? First you were traveling a lot and you're like, oh my God, I can't do this anymore. But you see your husband doing that.
Yeah.
And he's completely fine. And that sounds like his niche. But here you are being the sponge and the therapist and the healer.
Yeah.
And that's your niche.
Yeah. It's really cool.
Yeah.
I absolutely love what I do. And
still have to ask me. You have to ask me a question.
Okay. So my question for you, Abby, is I know that you are in your transition phase of your life. You have been so blessed to have met so many amazing people who have shared their stories of their transition into corporate to whatever they're pursuing now.
Mm-hmm.
What are your next steps in terms of that? Where do you see yourself after this transition? Or what is yeah, I guess what is the next step in your transition? Like the biggest milestone that you are kind of plotting in your mind?
You know, as you really talked about identity crisis, right?
Mm.
I'm going through that
Mm-hmm.
at this point of time, and a little more about myself
Mm-hmm.
is revealed to me every day.
Mm.
You know, it's almost like I still don't know myself completely.
For sure.
But there are these patterns of you will always put the dishwashing this way, or you don't like this.
Right.
And like you just tell yourself, why did I do this?
Yeah.
Instead of thinking, this is how I am, I'm noting those patterns.
Yeah.
Right? That's kind of where I'm at. And I'm like, okay, when do I start becoming disruptive? You know, or when do I start being disorganized? Like, these are the questions about myself that I don't really know. And like, now that I have so much time, I'm trying to gather that information about me. And that's completely new because I'm like, there are some people are so comfortable saying like, okay, this is just how I am. This is my place. Welcome. And it's surprising to me how I'm not there. You know, it's surprising to me how there's parts of me, which are patterns, that are so unknown to me. And that's why I'm in that point of,
just discovery.
Yeah. Discovering who I am. And when you're talking about next steps, and I think it's taken a lot of courage for me to call myself what I am right now. And we don't even know if this will happen, but this is where my heart is set.
It takes a lot of, you need courage to do this, but you have it because you literally did it.
I did it. I'm like halfway.
It takes time to build a foundation.
Yeah. And I think part of it was realizing a lot of the feelings of purpose that I have is around community.
Yeah.
I realized that given the brain space and the stresses that I had, you know, all my life, I tend to tell myself that I don't fit, you know, and I used to tell myself that I'm weird or I'm goofy or I'm just a misfit. And I used to leave myself to isolation without looking for people who are also a misfit. Even if you're a misfit, you can find other misfits.
Have other misfits.
Yeah, and
but I
never did that.
I would never say that anyone is even a misfit. Though.
Yeah, but you know, that's kind of how they term you, whether you're an undergrad, right? Like there's something different about you.
Right.
And I always thought that, okay, you know, I carried that identity with me that, okay, I just don't gel, you know? I carried that identity that, okay, people can't understand me, or I'm too intense, or I'm too this, I'm too that. And I think after quitting my job, I've understood the importance of community because right now I have more brain space. And, you know, every day I'm meeting all these beautiful women and people like you, Jen, like my friend Murda. And I'm like, oh, this is awesome. I'm even talking more to my best friend and she lives in India. Aww. And I'm like, wow, I just have so much mental bandwidth. So when I was telling myself I'm weird or I isolate myself, it was just a question of processing my emotions just to have more mental bandwidth than to go and meet people who align with me. And because I've been isolating myself for such a long time, and now that I'm finding friends and community, it is such a gift to me that I'm able to identify this isolation in other people. I see them doing that to themselves for various reasons.
Yeah.
So my next steps is firstly recognizing that I'm a social entrepreneur. Oh my God, I just call myself that.
You are though.
Who wants to build communities to cut out isolation in the world that we are living in right now, because it just appears to me a lot of people are having trouble making friends. A lot of people are finding trouble fitting into the community given what is going on in their life right now. And I think my entire purpose, given how much I have isolated myself and have had a lack of friendship, now being at that point where I feel blessed to have women who I align with, I just want to do that for other people.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
And
that's my
totally
next step.
doable.
My next step is trying to embody the fact that I'm a community social entrepreneur. That's where I'm at.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
The fact that you even, I mean, I'm not saying you're putting yourself on a box, but kind of identifying yourself even, you know, to a more minute level where you can understand and fully kind of vet out who am I and what do I want to do with this and where can I serve like my community. Community is important. You know, everybody, I know like people say that they want to be isolated, but in everyone's heart deep down desire relationships. We were created to have relationships.
You know, we need to belong. And I think I've tried to ignore that a lot, saying that I'm different, but I can definitely see the difference it makes in life to just have connection.
I don't know how you think you're different. I don't see it.
It's just as a kid, I always was in situations where I zoned out a lot and people didn't understand what was going on with me for whatever reason. That
you also had you have a very creative mind too. You were from a creative background.
Yeah.
And a lot of people who are creative kind of like, I don't know, have that feeling of like oblivion or isolation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Just because, you know, there's just so much going on in your head.
Yeah.
And you have to like put it out. And
right. And it's hard to process all those things, especially when you're younger, right? Or your frontal cortex isn't fully developed and you're just, you know? So totally no.
Yeah.
I think that, yeah.
Well, thank you for.
Yeah.
It makes me feel like I reflected on where I'm at.
Yes.
So yeah,
as we all should.
Taken courage to like I just say it out loud. I'm a community social entrepreneur.
You're a community social entrepreneur, Abby.
Well, thank you. And now that we are coming to a close of this podcast, I would like to ask you, Tiffany, if you had to tell your little self or your little baby boy, how far have you come? Like, how far has Mama come, or how far has older Tiffany come in her journey of life to little Tiffany?
I feel it's such a refreshing place to be in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel my whole life has been kind of when you're younger, you know, your parents put you in activities. They kind of lay that path out for you and you never really I never really got the opportunity to pick and choose the things that I wanted to do. I felt like I did a lot of extracurriculars like sports and stuff. But I never really got to pick out what I loved doing because everything that they picked for me, I would do so well.
Yeah.
And so you fall into that place because it's, you're so successful in this, we're going to put you in it. But I wasn't necessarily happy doing what they wanted me to do.
Yeah.
So that path was laid out for me. And I think going to college and then finding a job after that, that's a whole nother transition of, mommy and daddy aren't here to lay this path out for me. What do I do? You know? And so you're kind of like out there in the middle of nowhere and it's so competitive and you start comparing yourself to a lot of people. And then the next stage in life, really understanding who you are, you know, and carving out your own life for yourself, hopefully doing the things that you desire, that you want to do, that you know is good for you or that makes you feel good. Getting to the stage that I am now in life is, I look back and reflect back on just how much I was struggling to get to this place where I am today, where I know myself. I love what I do. I would never change the world in that journey, that difficult and challenging journey of being able to find myself and find my identity and my worth and being able to make the decision on pursuing Chinese medicine because now it's just so rewarding. I'm really grateful to just have the opportunity to even be able to pursue after this because a lot of people don't have that chance to do that. Number one, they either don't know what they love to do and they might never pursue or try to find that.
Yeah.
Or to even take the risk to do that. So kudos to you for taking the leap of faith to do that. But at the same time, not a lot of people have that financial stability who pursue after their dreams.
Yeah.
Because I feel I'm just so blessed to have worked a good paying job and to have my savings to be able to pay for school, to pay for after school, just your daily living, your car insurance and rent, food, things like that, to be able to go out with your friends.
Yeah.
It's not an easy world and we are bred to make money. Like we have to survive and we have to make money to survive. So I know that I'm so grateful for the opportunities that have come my way that, continuously asking God to even provide when I was in school, provide even when I'm after school. Because even though I am running, I'm also working part-time at a clinic too, right? Because obviously financial reasons.
Yeah.
Not only that, but just the experience.
And that's where you're at in your journey.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also running my own business on the side as well. And so, yeah, life is never a straight cut line. You have the freedom to do and pursue whatever you want.
Yeah.
And, yeah, and I feel like you shouldn't, even if you decided to open your own company or your own business, but also had a side gig, whatever your needs may be, you shouldn't have to always give yourself a hard time because you're not continuously doing the thing that you want to do.
Yeah.
So I'm now in a time of my life where I'm just so flexible. I'm doing what feels right. Yeah, God has really just provided for me financially and for all my needs. And I just feel so grateful. And to be able to be a mother now, which is also such a blessing, like that is really hard journey for so many people and such a struggle, which is also why I went into this careers to help women who are struggling, who want to be mothers too. But even in that transition, being able to like raise my child and to allow them, like, I feel like I'm going to be another, like parents are really, they just want the best.
Yeah.
But there's also a control factor.
Yeah.
And
that's a different journey.
I know. And I'm like, oh no, am I going to be like my parents? But it's only because I want the best for my child, right? But I hope that for me, I can continue to remind myself of my own journey and the struggles that I went through into actually pursuing what I wanted to do and be able to give that gift and that give the freedom of that gift to my child to pursue what they want to do.
That is so beautiful. Well, thank you for reflecting as Tiffany Lau, as your being, but also reflecting as a mama to be. Because that's a very big transition and a lot of learning. And it's a journey.
It's another identity crisis that I'm going to be going through. And it never ends.
It never ends.
Life is such a journey.
Yeah, but it's wonderful how you have found fulfillment through traditional Chinese medicine, and you can offer that wealth of holistic well-being and knowledge to your baby.
Yes, and others, and my community.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Well, how can people listening in and tuning in find you for all the wisdom that you can offer?
Yes, so you can visit my website. My website is Sozo, that's SOZO, acupuncture. I'm not going to spell that out. So sozoacupuncture.com. Again, my name is Tiffany, and I think on my website you can just fill out a form and reach out to me, or you can email me at tiffany@sozoacupuncture.com. On social media, you can reach me on Instagram at TCM Tiff. That's TCM TIFF, no space, And that's my handle.
Yeah, and that's traditional Chinese medicine.
Yes.
Pep. Yeah.
Traditional, yeah.
Well, that brings us to the end of this episode. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And so much for joining me today to share your journey and honoring yourself.
Thank you. So happy to be here.
I would like to thank each one of you for tuning in. And I hope you take the time to love and accept yourself every day, no matter where you are on this journey. I pray that you take a minute to slow down, honor yourself, and reflect how far you've come. God bless you and all my love. I'll see you next time. Take care.